You've done these debates a lot. I'm a newcomer to this, and you say that that there's always who's ever the front runner usually is the target or the piñata.
Not for us, for the other candidates.
Who is it? Who is it going to be?
Clearly, it's Gingrich. I mean, Gingrich is leading in the polls.
But obviously something's resonating here when they do keep attacking, right? Because his numbers have slipped.
His numbers have slipped a little bit. When everybody was saying, well, he's peaking at just the right time, I never thought that was right. I thought it was a little too early because there was a debate on Saturday. We're going to have our debate, and there's 3 weeks. And if we've seen one thing in this campaign so far, it is so fluid. There is not, rock solid support for anybody except perhaps Ron Paul, who does get his 15 to 20%.
If Ron Paul wins here, what then?
Well, the Ron Paul people are not going to like my saying this, but to a certain degree, it will discredit the Iowa caucuses because, rightly or wrongly, I think most of the Republican establishment thinks he's not going to end up as the nominee, so therefore Iowa won't count and it will go on. It would certainly be a knock to Gingrich because, right now he was the front runner, or a week ago he was the big front runner in this state, so it would be a missed opportunity for him.
What about Mitt Romney with all these candidates who rise and fall and this whack-a-mole thing that goes on with him? He's always like the constant, right?
He's the constant, but I must say he was the constant at 20 to 25%. In all the polls now, it's 15 to 20%, so he's taken a hit too, maybe by going negative. It really does seem as if the Republican base, the Republican voters, are not really thrilled about anybody in this field.
Very interesting.
We'll get you made news the other day when you suggested that it was going to somehow diminish the Iowa caucuses if Ron Paul winds up the winner, which he very well could, according to these latest polls. Would you like to explain that, sir?
Yes, and I have gotten some email response on that subject.
From Ron
I
Paul
don't mean, yes, exactly. I know they never send us emails. I don't mean in any way to diminish Ron Paul, and I think he absolutely could win the debate and win the caucuses. I think he still is relatively speaking, a long shot to be the next president, and to the degree that people are going to look at Iowa and say, do they pick presidents or do they pick people that represent certain points of view but that they don't hold up during the primary campaigns? I think if Paul wins, it will, to some degree, diminish the credibility. I stand by it, diminish the credibility of the caucus.